Femi Ajayi Sequential is a renowned musician, music performer, stage performer, songwriter, of course, as well as a percussionist too. So, and a multi-talented instrumentalist. So, and I've written so many songs to my credit. I've released 5 different albums. I am from Ekiti State, Ikoro Ekiti to be precise. Born and bred in a family of 5. I grew up in Ibadan. Well, it's a very long journey, so to say. As a little child, growing up as a little child, I was a fantastic fine artist, a painter. Of course, I loved music too as a little child, and I could build structures with cardboards and all. But there's this one thing I could do best, which parents did not observe then, and that was music. But I was a rich little kid as a result of my fine arts career, and as a result of the fact that I build things. So, and how could I forget? And as a little child too, I used to destroy almost all the electronics in the house. I want to check what is inside this, what is sounding out, and I would disassemble it to reassemble becomes an issue. So I would get the max beating of my life. And I never stopped. I kept destroying everything. I kept building and all. So I think there is that function of the brain from childhood to build stuffs. So but music became dominant. So I've been practicing music as a little child. So until when I grew older, I started having some little diversification. I started taking up to songwriting. Sometimes I write some soap operas too. I have them, I keep them in the house. So and so many other things that are music related. I remember back then in 2009, I think, I went to pay a courtesy visit to the African Studies Department, University of Ibadan. So, and I stumbled on an article about Baba Ademola Onibonkuta, how he built some musical instruments he was playing back then in the 70s, thereabout. And that section of my brain that was used to trying to build something started, getting nurtured. Like, oh, really? So someone could sit down, apart from being a stage performer, songwriter, and then you build something for yourself that you could play around with and all. So that was when I started thinking, what could I build? And I'm a fine pianist. I love playing the piano a lot. So I just decided, okay, what kind of piano can I do that is going to portray not just my culture, which is the Yoruba culture, but Africa at large? I decided I'm going to build a percussion piano. That is, putting drums together that will sound basically the tonic sofa scale of a piano. So I started building that year, 2009, through 2010. I didn't get through because I had the structure. I had some stuffs I had put in my head that I want to achieve, not just putting the stuffs together and running the scale. I want to build an engine. I have destroyed engines, don't forget. I've destroyed electronics when I was a little boy. I want to build something inside this cone that will make it sound basically like a piano. So that took me a while. So 2010, I could not achieve anything, so to say. I achieved, but I couldn't meet up the target. So fast forward 2011, I released my second album that year, AJÉBUGBÁJE. And then I thought, okay, I think this should be the right time to unveil this my long dream. Then I sat back, I started, working on it again. So I was able to achieve it to a reasonable point that year. But the trouble was it was rather too big. So, considering going about traveling up and down with that kind of device, so that was a big challenge for me. So suddenly I didn't like it anymore. So I dissembled it. I think I love to dissemble things. So at the end of the day, 2011, 2012, fast forward until January 2022, I didn't get the inspiration to build the piano again. I lost the inspiration. But January 1st, 2022, that thing came back, in mass. And that was when I felt, okay, apart from that gigantic structure I had then, we could have something portable that could be sold to the entire world, that could be moved around everywhere in the world. And I came up with, I had this wooden structure already. This is one of my spoilt boxes. A guitar box. So instead of going to the carpenter or what have you to build a box, I had the box already. So what did I do? I just went to the sawmill. We carved out some circles, and then of course we carved out this cone too. These cones were built with what we call igiomo in Yoruba land. It's an ancestral tree. So it's one of the oldest tree in Yoruba land. And why did we use igiomo? Because of the softness. This cone is very small, so if you use a very hard wood, you won't be able to achieve this kind of structure. It will be breaking alongside. So we carved out this, then we did a flesh venom, and then something to hold down the venom for the sake of tuning. So inside every cone, we've got a projector, a sound projector, right, that is going to project every cone equally into the amplifier. So I'm talking about the amplifier. We have we have a jack point here where the jack plug enters, and then the other end enters into just like when you are plugging a piano, a normal Western piano. So, and on the other hand, each of these cones you are looking at, they have their volume control right behind me here. So the smaller the structure, the higher the pitch. So sometimes if you set them on the same volume, one will naturally be higher than the other. So that is why we have volume control for each of these cones you are looking at, so that the higher they go, we keep taming them to the same volume. You understand? So everything put together, I observed, at least I think I've been able to do justice to the fact that I was inspired by Baba Ademola Onibokuta. What he did then, we did a contemporary version of it right now. So I think I'm fulfilled with that. Òkun simply means the sea. And when we are talking about the sea, they will say nobody knows the beginning and the end of a sea. That is, we can simply say the sea is infinite. The sea is endless. So what am I talking about? There is always room for improvement in whatever you are doing. So this, as I'm talking to you now, this is a current edition. Very soon, we could have an improvise of this. Very soon, again, another improvise of this. That is, the knowledge is endless. I have foreseen it before I started that this thing will always be subjected to improvise. It will always be subjected to revision. So that is why I simply named it Òkun. When I started this project, I had so many challenges. I had to start, seeking advices from my people. Even when I was going to do this design, I didn't know how to go about it. I had to go to one of my uncles at the Polytechnic of Ibadan, Mr. Adisa, at Fine Arts Department anyway. So he was putting me through, okay, if you want to do this design, why not use cowrie? Then I was not even planning to name it Òkun. I was still struggling with the structure. And cowrie, where do you get cowrie from? You get them from the seashore, So, and at the point I started having issues with there was a time I was done. I thought I was done. I called my producer Shola and everything. I said, Baba, this thing is done. Let's sound check. We got to the studio. The engine wasn't working fine again. I lost count of the challenges I went through with this project. But at the end of the day, Òkun has come to stay, whether we like it or not. So, Òkun is here, and I present it to you. My first hope is that, like I said earlier, I want something I will be performing with my band on the stage when we are performing. Something unique, something that looks like a trademark for myself and the Africana Groovers, which is my band. So, secondly, I'm looking out for. That is why this structure is compressed to this smaller form right now. So, like, we could sell this to the entire world. We'll travel up and down, do exhibitions all over the world to tell them something great, something new has come all the way from Africa, Nigeria, and of course, the Yoruba land. So, we are selling this to the entire world. I hope we do this exhibition in like 1,000 countries, if possible. So, and of course, I know maybe very soon or someday, somebody could partner with this. It could be a company, a music company, or what have you. So we could have copies of this all over the world, and then Òkun spreads across the entire universe. Thank you once again. My name is Femi Ajayi Sequential, and please enjoy Òkun as much as you can.